at ASoldiers. In an attempt to be more appealing to a male audience, I wore something similar to you guys, which is a polo shirt, but I unbuttoned it all the way so that you'll pay attention. If you don't know me, hi, my name is Rachel, and I do book videos mostly on a YA/teen/young adult type book. I have found that most of these YA teen books are mostly targeted towards a female audience, and I know the majority of my subscribers are female, but I also know that I have a good chunk of gentlemen friends out there. Hi guys. I hope this video is able to reach people who have a young adult man in their lives, or are one, or wish to become one. But I've noticed that a lot of YA books are more targeted towards a female audience, and I'm not sure if that's because we read more in general, or if girls are more likely to read young adult books, or if because we're reading so much they've started to target it towards us specifically. However, as someone that's read an awful lot and also works at a bookstore and has been working at bookstores for about 4 years now, I know that there are some books that I think younger men would like to read, and these might be more targeted towards you as a demographic. Not saying girls can't read these, not saying guys can't read typical girl novels, I'm just saying sometimes this stuff is targeted towards one gender more than the other. But there are still plenty of males out there that want to read, and that's great. We should all be reading, but I know it's a little bit difficult when half of the teen section is called the teen section, so it seems like you're little, and then also there's a lot of like girls in dresses setting dramatically on front covers. In the spirit of inclusivity, I thought today's video would be interesting to go over some YA teen books that are more suitable for a male audience. The first one I'm going to recommend you've seen friggin' everywhere because the movie's out now, and that's Ready Player One by Ernest Cline. This is an intense, fast-paced, futuristic, virtual reality video game type book. So if you like video games, this book is for you. I personally do not play a lot of video games, and I freaking loved this book. This book talks all about Easter eggs in video game culture as our main character Wade is fighting against a bunch of other people in this big competition to find the Easter eggs within this virtual reality world that will lead them to this grand prize. And there's a ton of fun references, mostly from 80s video games, that are really, really great. There's a lot of fun side characters and some really cool world building because you can do anything in VR. And we get to do anything in VR. Another classic one that gets a little bit of flack is Looking for Alaska by John Green, because I feel like when people hear John Green, they think, oh, The Fault in Our Stars, that's like a romancy author. But it's definitely not, and I think you can enjoy his books regardless of whatever gender you are. I specifically recommend Looking for Alaska for a male audience because the main character is a guy, which helps, but just the way that he experiences kind of falling in love, sort of, but it's not like a lovey-dovey falling in love, it's more like a realizing that not everything's about you. Alaska is portrayed as this dream girl, and it's really interesting to watch the main character break down her personality and kind of realize that the girl you have a crush on is maybe not the most perfect of people. Next up is a book I'm probably sure is going to throw my white balance off, and that is Me and Earl and the Dying Girl by Jesse Andrews. This fluorescent yellow book is following Greg and one of his friends as they kind of become friends with, unfortunately, a dying girl, and they decide to make her a movie, and they're like both film students, so it's really funny to see them kind of blunder their way through like making a film. And then also a good both male friendship and female friendship is very important in this. I feel like if you're too biased against John Green, this might be a good choice for you instead. Or you could just do any book by Adam Silvera. I originally was going to pick History Is All You Left Me, and I was like, oh, but they both died at the end, it's good too. Oh, but More Happy Than Not has that thing. Adam Silvera writes queer male characters very well, and I would say that his books, while they're based on gay and queer characters, it's not the like gay characters for girls where everything's like fan fiction-y and like adorable. I mean, like, yeah, there's some cute stuff in here, but it also has to do a lot with like deep relationships and being a queer male and having those challenges. It raises a lot of issues about society and about personal identity, and I think these are just, they're so good. I can't necessarily point to one and say which one is better because they'll all give you emotions. And if you want something fun and funny but also kind of morbid, I would try out Denton Little's Death Date by Lance Ruben. This is in a world where everyone knows the day they're gonna die, and for the main character Denton, that's tomorrow, so he's kind of going on about like he's gonna go to prom, and then he's having issues with his girlfriend, and then, oh no, there's this conspiracy theory over when you're gonna die, and I thought it was really fun, and the main character is just, he is a typical teenage boy, and so it's very funny to me, at least, to read from his perspective, as, you know, he's going to kind of his death, but it's funny, it's a funny book, it's a little bit morbid, but it's meant to kind of poke fun at stuff, so if you want like a quick summer read, Summer is now here. Try this out. Alright, I saved my two biggest books for last, but I can account to size does not matter. And in most guy-focused movies, there's a lot of violence, so if you like that kind of thing, say you really liked 300, or you really liked Hercules, or you really liked, well, I was gonna say Fast and Furious, but like, no one really likes Fast and Furious. Also, it's about cars, and this has nothing to do with cars. Lord of the Rings, like if you like all those big battles, all the fighting and the dying and the violence, I would definitely recommend An Ember in the Ashes by Safa Tahir. This is dual perspectives. You get a guy, Elias, and you get the girl, Laya, and there's like sort of a love story, but like I don't really like it very much, so I just cut that out and look at all the violence. This world is so cool because it's Roman inspired, but it's also like a little bit Egyptian, but then there's also some fantasy, and it is hardcore as all hell. There's a lot of blood and a lot of killing and a lot of dying, and I really loved how intense this was and how horrific it was. I think the second one's more horror. This one is just more like, we're doing all the fighting and we're just gonna get all the fighting done, and it's great. And lastly, my biggest book on this list is Illuminae by Amy Kaufman and Jay Kristoff. If you are looking for a sci-fi horror, this is the book for you because hot damn, this book was amazing. I'd say this book is basically space zombies. That's how this book turned out. It's really cool. It's a psychological thriller set in space, on a spaceship, in space. Kate is a freaking badass, and it doesn't matter if she's a girl or not. Personally, my favorite character is an AI who doesn't even have a gender, and I like him the best. It's very intimidating, but it's actually full of files and emails and pictures, so you don't have to worry about this taking you all summer to read. This will probably only take you a weekend. Or in my case, like 3 hours. So there you go. There are some books that I've curated that have a more male-focused audience, or that a male audience might be more interested in reading than the sappy romances that are often given to the girls. Not to say that that's wrong, or you can't like that, or that that kind of writing is bad, because I like a sappy romance just as much as I like a Sparta 300 movie. But also, do I like that movie because there's a lot of shirtless men, or do I like it because it's violent? Probably a bit of both. I am all for encouraging anybody to read, and especially guys to read, because guys, if you're watching this, that means that you have someone that has a bunch of female subscribers and like a bunch of female friends and like knows a bunch of people in the female race, and yeah, I can just speak cumulatively, we all love it when you read. I'm sure there are plenty that I missed, so please leave down below if you have any other suggestions for this kind of thing. I'm like looking at my shelf now being like, oh man, like I missed out on all this stuff. I hope you guys are having a nice day wherever you are, and I will see you all next week. Bye!